Hey everyone, welcome to Shape Your Story. My name is Nathan.
And I'm Lisa.
All right, so Lisa, we're going to teach the world how to whiteboard, right? We got together a couple months ago. In fact, Lisa, I think you have maybe a screenshot of what you did for me. I presented on this webinar last year. And at the end of the webinar, Lisa presented to me with this awesome diagram of the entire session that I did. Like, do you have that available? Can you pull that up?
I just happen to have it right here on my iPad. And this, you talked for like an hour, so I had a lot to draw. And here's a little doodle of you, Nathan. I think I captured you pretty well. It's the first time I ever met you, so pretty sure that's an okay likeness. But what we're going to be doing today is not going to be anything as complicated as that, right? Because that's something that I do for clients and for work. But what we're going to be talking about today and helping you learn to do, super simple drawings to tell a story so that you can communicate better with people at work and also just to help you be more creative yourself.
Awesome. So this whole series is really going to be about, taking a few nuggets here and there to basically enhance your meetings, to be able to go into a meeting, confidently get up on a whiteboard or use a notepad or use maybe a Logitech crayon with an iPad, like whatever your technology is, it doesn't matter. The idea is to basically able to draw simple figures that can tell a story, right? We want to be able to tell stories in our meetings. That just is so much more effective. And Lisa, I love the way you did that drawing because I mean, there was so much I talked about. I know it was an hour. I think it was 90 slides. And somehow you captured all of it. I know you said you didn't capture all of it, but the reality is you captured the essence of what I was trying to say. And that would be amazing in every meeting. So Lisa, we're going to do a lot of different episodes, right? So this is our first one. What are you going to teach us today?
Well, first of all, we're going to talk about what this is and what this isn't. What it's not is art. This is where everybody can just relax. You do not have to be an artist to do this. And I'm not saying that just to make you feel better, because everyone thinks they can't draw. I'm saying this is absolutely true because if you try to make it too pretty, it's going to take too long and it's going to be about the picture and not about the ideas. So we're talking about articulation of ideas, not art. So even if it looks like a chicken scratch, it's going to be great. I like to say, the worse it looks, the better it works.
Awesome. So what should we do today?
You don't really need to draw everything in the world in order to be able to communicate using drawing. So we're going to cover in the series lots of things, but what I like to call like the 3 C's. I like to talk about character, concepts, and context. So today we're going to be doing mostly character, but in the meantime, what I'm going to do is go down to my down camera, to my Logitech Reach camera, where you see I have just have a regular pen, right? And so when we talk about character, we're talking about that's C1, C2, C3. When we talk about character, we're talking about emotions and figures instead of stick figures. We're probably going to be covering mostly this today. When we're talking about concepts, we're talking about symbols and things that mean other things that can help you tell a story. And then when we're talking about context, we're talking about things like metaphors, like a mountain or a road off in the distance, where you could have a person, looking in that direction. We're going to be talking about how to make the characters and the concepts live inside these contexts. And you can see right away already, you could start to tell a story about this person who needs to, save time or reach this goal on top of the mountain. So that's the kind of thing that we're going to be talking about throughout this whole series. But today we're going to cover character.
Just real quick. So I am terrible at drawing even stick figures, or maybe that's all I draw. So the little doodle you just did there is already better than what I did. So really excited to kind of learn more. And then I'll obviously follow along a little bit later as well.
Okay, so that's why I'm so excited about this, because it really is very easy. But I really will hope that, Nathan, you're going to follow along, and anybody who's watching this right now, just give it a try. Follow along with what I'm about to show you, and I promise you're going to be amazed at what you actually already know how to do, because this is a language that we all know, even if you think we don't. So back down to the Reach, I'm going to just ask you to do some. So we can see the whole thing right now. I'm going to make 4 circles up here. And I'm going to make 4 circles down here. So basically 2 rows of 4 circles. Okay, they do not have to be perfect circles. As you can see, these are not perfect. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is about a third of the way down, I'm going to make 2 dots on each of these. I bet you can figure out what I'm doing here. I'm going to do these as quickly as possible. You can take your time if you want to, and pause the video if you want to. And then just for fun, I'm going to make the letter U underneath the dots. This is not a mouth. I know right now it looks like a little smiley face. This is gonna turn out to be a nose. You don't really need the nose. I just like to use it to kind of anchor the characters. All right. So what we have right now is 8 blank stares. So what I'm going to do at the top is just make a smiley face on this one. Pretty much everybody knows how to do that. In fact, I'm going to do that with all of these on the top row. So, all right, so what? Now we have a bunch of happy faces on the top row. But here's where the magic happens. Are you ready? So
Yep.
I'm going to add 2 marks to the second one. These are now the same, pretty much the same feeling that's coming out of these pictures. But I'm going to add 2 marks to this one. And now this character has a different feeling than that one. This one maybe is like kind of moved, or you just gave them a present, and they're watching a sad movie or a happy movie. I might give them a little teardrops. Okay, so 3 marks. 3 marks different than this. And now we have a completely different story that's being told by this face, and a different emotion that you're eliciting in the person who's viewing it. And now I'm going to move to person number 3, and I'm going to take these 2 marks that I made over the eyebrows, and I'm going to make them the opposite way. Now we have someone who's telling a whole different story. He might be evil genius, conniving, sneaky, or something like that. Last one, I'm going to do 2 different marks. I'm going to make a big googly eyes around the dots I made. Looks a little crazy there. And maybe one more thing, an exclamation point, which anybody knows how to make because it's just punctuation. And now we have a person who's excited. Maybe he just had an idea. Something great's just happened, or they're surprised in a good way. So now we have 4 completely different emotions that we've just expressed with just a couple of marks that anybody can make. All right. So to me, when I was a child, this was magic. And that's why I became a cartoonist later in life, because it's just magic to be able to create these emotions.
It is amazing to me, Lisa, how simple these little things are. I mean, everyday things like an exclamation mark. Come on. I mean, it makes such a big difference just from one drawing to the next.
Yeah, and we all know it from the language of cartoons. If you watch a comic, if you look at a comic book, or you look at a comic strip, back in my day in the newspaper, but now online, you'll see these kinds of tropes, and it is a language, and we do speak it. So I'm going to move on. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So I bet you can guess what we're going to do on the bottom row of these characters. We're going to look at maybe some negative emotions. So I'm going to do the same thing I did at the top. I'm going to make a frowny, like upside down smile on all of these bottom characters. So now we have 4 people, let's say, who look equally displeased. Okay, so they're just, this could be like just a disappointed customer. But if I take the eyebrows from person number 2 up here and I put them on the sad face or the frowny face, I gave it away. That person is really sad compared to this person who's just like not happy. This is a sad person. I might, just to be fair, I'll give them a teardrop. Now they're really depressed. Okay, so now I'm going to take what I'm going to call the angry eyebrows, the mean eyebrows, and put them on this guy. That person's really angry. If I want to make him really angry, here's another cartoon thing. If I just make, some lines coming out of his head, now it amplifies that feeling. So there's a rage happening there, right? And if I take the googly eyes from this guy and put them on this guy, and I even give them an exclamation point. So everything is the same except the mouth between these and these. Yeah. This guy, oh my God, I forgot to pay my taxes. Oh my God, something bad is happening. Bad surprise.
It's coming up soon.
Yeah. So you got 8 completely different emotions here that you just created with just a couple of marks.
You know what's interesting? It's a little bit nostalgic for me because I read the papers and the cartoons as a child. So I guess it depends on your age and whether if you've done that in the past. But for me, it's like I remember reading all those like Marmaduke, all that stuff that was out like in the 70s and 80s. So it's cool to see that that you're comfortable looking at it and you understand the exclamation marks and that the person's angry or upset. So it's an easy transition. Maybe not for everyone, but I do like that effect for sure.
Well, the other thing I want to just point out is like, well, when would you use this? This is fun, this is cute, but when would you actually want to use this? If you're doing a whiteboard in a meeting or something and you want to talk about, customers are angry or customers are happy or something, or customer journey from unhappy to thrilled, or there was a bad surprise when they didn't get their delivery or something like that, these emotional, like emojis, like handmade emojis that you make will actually communicate a lot more than if you're writing on the board with words, so customers are displeased with our, you know what I mean? It's just, it telegraphs it much quicker. It's more fun to look at. It's more engaging. And for me, what I get out of doing this is it makes it, I don't know if it's the same for everybody, but it makes me feel something. I'm not just using my brain when I'm looking at these things. It immediately goes straight to my heart when I see a picture like that. And the fact that it's hand drawn gives it a human touch that nothing else really does. And it just cuts through a lot of the boring stuff that happens in meetings.
I mean, to be honest, it's very tactile, right? Like I take all my notes down still today on paper. I know that might be the uncool thing to do, but I have lots of Post-it notes. I have lots of pieces of paper. Sometimes I'll use my iPad. It just depends on the media, right? Like the art of actually writing it down makes you remember. And to your point, there's a sense of satisfaction. Like you will go back from the whiteboard, you're like, hey, wow, that actually makes some sense. And typically, and I'll be honest, I already do really ridiculous stick figures, and we're going to find out here if I can actually adapt to what you're teaching. But I've typically just done a bunch of bullets, right? Like a bunch of bullets, maybe some graphs, and you're just like, you step back, you're like, it's boring, and this actually gives it some personality. All right, so let me see if I can draw like you, Lisa, at least a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and show my desk as well. And you can show yours as well. There we go.
Right.
So we don't have time to do all of them, but maybe we just do 4 heads, right?
Okay. Yeah, all right. So we can do, well, why don't we do like 6 of these? We'll do like 3 of these on the top.
All right, perfect. See, I'm going to draw it big.
And 3 on the bottom.
All right.
So we can get a real,
All right.
Okay, I'm watching you do yours. Okay, so now remember, like about a third of the way down, we're going to make 2 dots for the eyes.
Okay, so they're like more like 11s.
So like a button, like they're like buttons, but like with the buttonholes in the wrong place.
Yeah.
All right. If you want to put a nose, you can. I like to put a nose because it helps me figure out where I'm going to put, just makes the face. The nose doesn't really do anything except make it look more like a face.
All
right. Just make sure you leave room for the mouth at the bottom. Okay, cool. So now what we're going to do on the top is I'm going to give everybody on the top a smiley face.
All right.
And I'm going to take the first guy and I'm going to give him what I call the sad eyebrow. So that's basically like an upside down V that doesn't connect at the top. Okay, you got it.
All right.
And I'm going to take the second guy and give him the mean eyebrows that's pointing down. Yep, see? And then at the last one, I'm going to give them the circles around the eyes, which could be eyeglasses if you connected them to the side, but I'm just going to, and a little exclamation point on top. So see, you've done it already. Those 3 characters look completely different to me, and they have different, I'm going to give a little teardrop to the first one just to make sure that we know what that emotion is. It's these little clues that make a cartoon, really. And so then at the bottom, we're going to give a frowny face, and I'm trying to make them all as similar as possible just to show you how the only difference is really these little extra marks we're adding after.
Sure.
Okay, so you've got all the frowny guys. So we're going to take the sad eyebrows from the top guy and put them on the bottom guy. The sad eyebrows and maybe the teardrop. Okay?
All right.
And then, he looks sad. And then you've got the angry, mean eyebrows from the top guy from here and put him down there.
The angry guy speaks to me. I don't know why, but he does.
Well, maybe that's the kind of mood you're in.
Maybe.
And if you want to make him really mad, you can add a couple of lines coming out of the top of his head. Yeah, there you go. And then the last guy, you give them the same googly eyes that you gave the guy on the top, and even the exclamation point, and you can see I like yours. He looks really, yeah, especially since, oh, wow, especially the beady eyes in the middle. That's what really makes him scared, right?
I started with 11s for eyes, and then I switched to beads because it seems like
you can make the eyes any shape you want. I made them kind of like lines instead of dots so that we'd be able to see it better on the camera. But yeah, like I love how your scared guy or your upset guy at the end has the eyeballs floating in the middle of the circles. That's hilarious. I mean, but what I love about this, look how you followed me and you did exactly what I did, but our pictures look different because yours expresses you and the way you do it. And that's the other thing I wanted to make sure everybody gets. You're all going to do it. You can't make it exactly the same. It can't be a carbon copy because you've got your own. It's like handwriting, and your style is going to show through whatever you do with this. And I love that about this kind of work.
I love it. Thanks for walking me through that. And hopefully everyone else was also able to walk and listen through that, because that's, you only learn by doing. You have to do it. So that's why we put some time into the segment to do that. Lisa, what's homework? Does anyone have any homework?
I would just ask you to just doodle, maybe in a meeting when you're not paying much attention. You can pretend you're taking notes and you can just doodle, make as many circles as you can and do what we just did and experiment with what happens when you change the eyebrows, if you close the eyes, if you open the eyes, and see the power that you have to create these different emotions. And things won't always turn out the way you expect, but it's just to give yourself the experience of seeing how you have the power to create these kinds of expressions that really touch people's hearts.
It's pretty awesome. I know I'll be doodling and making angry faces in my next couple of meetings today. But Lisa, thank you. And everyone else, join us for another episode soon. This is Shape Your Story. Again, my name is Nathan.
And I'm Lisa.
We'll see you all next time.